本日は PyConJP2018 広がる Python にお越しいただきまして誠にありがとうございます。オープニングセッションの開始は9時50分を予定しております。会場内のお席には前方より詰めておかけいただけますようお願いいたします。また、オープニングセッション後のキーノートは英語での講演となります。同時通訳レシーバーはクロークにて貸し出しをしております。それではオープニングセッション開始まで今しばらくお待ちくださいませ。Thank you for visiting PyCon JP 2018, Spreading Python. We are going to start the opening session from 9:50. Please take your seat from the front. The second talk will be in Japanese. If you need an interpreter receiver, you can get it at the clerk. Please wait a little while till the opening session. Thank you.皆様お待たせいたしました。これより PyConJP2018 オープニングセッションを開始いたします。PyConJP 座長吉田と通訳担当ヨナスよりご挨拶および本日 PyConJP1 日目のご案内をいたします。We're now starting the opening session. PyConJP 2018 Chairman Yoshida and interpreter Jonas will deliver the opening address and give you our overview of Day 1 of PyCon JP 2018.
おはようございます。PyConJP2018 カンファレンスデイ開始いたします。よろしくお願いします。
Good morning, everybody. We will now explain to you the stuff that's going to happen on day one.
はい、先ほどご紹介ありました通り、座長の吉田です。よろしくお願いします。
My name is Jonas, and I will be translating for our chairman, Yoshida.
はい、では始めていきます。はい、参加者数なんですが、今回、多くなりまして、トータルで、1000ですね。一般参加の方は900、その以外の方含めて1000ということになっています。
And yet, we are very happy to announce that this year again we have over 1,000 participants, including attendees, sponsors, and staff.
はい、今年のテーマとしては、広がる Python というテーマで、カンファレンスを行います。
And yet, our theme today, this year, is spreading Python.
スポンサーの方々のご紹介です。はい。ダイヤモンドスポンサー、テックビューローさんです。ありがとうございます。
And yet we would like to introduce our sponsors. First of all, our diamond sponsor, Tech Bureau.
プラチナムスポンサーの方、メルカリさん、グローブ X さんです。
And our platinum sponsors, Mercari and GrooveX.
ありがとうございます。ゴールドスポンサーの方々です。ありがとうございます。
And our gold sponsors.
こちらもゴールドスポンサーの方です。ありがとうございます。
More of our gold sponsors.
で、シルバースポンサーですね、方々です。ありがとうございます。
And the first part of our silver sponsors.
こちらもシルバースポンサーの方々です。
And some more of our silver sponsors.
まだまだシルバースポンサーの方がございます。
And even more silver sponsors. Thank you very much.
そして、最後にシルバースポンサーの方々です。
And you guessed it, even more silver sponsors.
たくさんのスポンサーの方々ありがとうございます。そして、パトロンスポンサーの方々です。ありがとうございます。
I would also like to thank our patron sponsors.
メディアスポンサーの方々です。ありがとうございます。
And our media sponsors this year.
スポンサーの方々、本当にありがとうございます。
Thank you a lot to all our sponsors.
で、これからイベントの紹介に入っていきます。
So we will explain the events of today.
はい。本日は、23のトークセッションが、予定されております。そうですね。こちらから、あとこれからすぐにキーノートともが始まっております。1階でも、ですね、1階からどんどん4階に上がってきて、ここで皆さん見ていただければと思います。はい。よろしくお願いします。
Today we will have 23 talks in total. The keynotes and the invited speaker session after the keynote will be also broadcasted to the hall in the first floor. But if you can, of course, please watch it here on the fourth floor. Thank you.
Yes. お願いします。はい。じゃあ、ですね。こちらが場所なんですけど、ここ1階の先ほど入っていたところはこちら。それから2階の方にも商展示場スモールエキシビションホールがございます。
So on the first floor is the main exhibition hall with all the booths and also the conference room AB. And on the second floor is the small exhibition hall where there will also be sessions.
3階、4階ここですね。はい、こちらの方にもトークの場所がございます。
And then on the third floor is the special conference room, also a place where there will be talks. And on the fourth floor in the convention hall, this is where we are right now.
それから、6階の方にも、セッションの部屋がございます。はい。
And then on the sixth floor, there's conference room C, D, and E, and also the room for the childcare.
それから、本日は、ユースコーダーワークショップの方が6階で E で開かれております。
And today we will also have a youth coder workshop, which will be on the sixth floor in room E.
はい、それから、スポンサーブースが、1階にございます。ブースは15時40分までの、開催となっております。はい、
And our sponsor booths are on the first floor in the large hall, and they will be open until 3:40 p.m. today.
で、お昼ですね。お昼は、12時から、1時半まで、1階の、大展示、スポンサーブースのあるところなどでも食べられますし、ここの、4階でも食べることができます。はい、
And lunch will be between noon and 1:30 p.m. today. You can get your lunch and eat either in the main room on the first floor among the sponsorship booths, or you can also eat here on the fourth floor in this room.
それから、この、お部屋で、ランチをする際に、ジョブフェアという、イベントが、開催されています。ジョブフェアをもちろん見ながらランチを取っていただくことが可能です。
And during lunch on the fourth floor in this room, there will also be a job fair by some of our top sponsors. And you can, of course, eat your lunch while you attend this job fair.
ジョブフェアなんですけども、こちらにある、テックビューロさん、メルカリさん、アイリッジさん、グルーブ X さんで、パネルディスカッションとして、Python についての各社の取り組みなどについて、お話し、いただけるということになりますので、ぜひ参加をよろしくお願いします。
So during the job fair, the 4 sponsors you see here, Tech Bureau, Mercari, iRich, and GrooveX will hold a panel discussion about Python and hiring in Python. So please feel free to attend.
はい、それからですね、おやつの時間帯に、フォトセッションとして皆さんの集合写真ですね、全員集合写真を1階の、大展示ホールで、撮りたいと思っていますので、ぜひ、おやつの時間帯には、下の、大展示に行って、写真をみんなで撮りましょう。で、その時間に、コーヒーブレイクがありますので、おやつも出ておりますので、それもお楽しみください。
And during the after...
1回ですね。間違いない。1回です。これが出ます。
はい。During the afternoon tea snack time, we will also want to take a picture of all the attendees. So please, not like it's written here, but it's on the first floor in the main exhibition hall. So please go there so we can take a picture of all the people that are here today. And you also have time to drink some coffee and get some snacks.
それから、クロージングですね。それから、クロージングは1階の、ところで、17時15分から行いますので、そちらも参加お願いします。
And our closing session will start at 5:15 p.m. on the first floor in the main hall.
でクロージングの後なんですが、実はここにライトニングトークがございます。なので、ライトニングトークは17時半から、1階の、大展示ホールで行います。
And in the same room as the closing session, just after the closing session, we will have the lightning talks of today, which should go until shortly before 6.
その後、お楽しみの、本日皆さんご参加いただけるパーティーというのが、1階の、大展示で引き続いてありますので、ぜひ皆さんパーティーを楽しんでいってください。よろしくお願いします。
And then after the lightning talks, we will have our party today for all the attendees, and please attend and have fun.
注意事項です。
And then some words of attention, please.
はい、コードオブコンタクトがございます。PyConJP のコードコンタクトを、ご確認いただき、基本的に、ハラスメント行為ですね、各種の、ハラスメント行為を禁止しておりますので、それを行われた方は退出いただくというケースもございますので、ご注意ください。ハラスメント行為と見かかれた方は、スタッフですねにご連絡ください。はい。
And yeah, this year again, as every year, we have a code of conduct, and please read it and follow it. We are especially concerned about people harassing other members, and please do not do that, of course. This also includes on social media, so please be also careful of what you say on Twitter about PyConJP and its speakers and attendees. If you have any trouble or if you see any trouble, please do come talk to the staff that wear either the blue T-shirt or have this yellow armband.
飲食についてです。はい。食事はいつでも1階の大展示ホールで食事とか飲み物とかですね、好きに取ります、取ることができます。で、あとボトルに入ったペットボトル飲料などは各セッションの部屋等でも飲んでもらうのは自由です。はい。
So, eating is always allowed in the large hall on the first floor, as well as drinking on the first floor. In all the other areas, please do not eat, and if you're drinking, please only drink from PET bottles.
はい、撮影についての、お知らせです。ですね、私たちは、スタッフが、写真をどんどん撮って回っております。で、撮影した写真は、インターネットに、で使用することが、PyConJP のブログなどインターネットで使用することがありますので、ご了承ください。
A short note about taking videos and recording. The PyConJP staff will take videos and record videos and take pictures of attendees in the events here, and we will upload some of those to our blog and other social media on the internet. Thank you for your understanding.
セッションについてですけれども、セッションの録画も基本的に行っております。一部のセッションいくつのセッションは録画をしておりますが、公開はしないことをスピーカーから止められているものがありますが、ごく少数です。セッションの中で失語等で映っている場合はございますが、そちらについてもご了承をよろしくお願いします。
All our sessions will be recorded and also available later, except for one session where the speaker has requested that we do not record the video of their talk. And please also do not take a picture or record videos in talks where we will announce that you please do not do so.
はい、それから、ツイッター等のハッシュタグですね、こちらになってPyConJP というのが、共通のハッシュタグで、各部屋ごとにハッシュタグがあります。で、こういうふうに、各部屋に、掲載いたします。これから、貼って回りますので、ハッシュタグをつける場合は、各部屋のものまたは共通のものを使っていただければと思います。
And yeah, we have a hashtag, of course, for Twitter. The main one is hashtag PyConJP, one word. And we also have hashtags for each room. So if you want to tweet about something that's going on, a session that's going on in a specific room, please use that hashtag as appropriate. And there will be signs around the room that will indicate which hashtag to use in which room.
領収書を、希望された方については、ウェブで、発行できるようになっておりますので、できれば、開催期間中に、こちらから、登録して領収書を出力してください。はい、よろしくお願いします。
If you have a business patron or tutorial ticket, you are eligible for a receipt. And if you need a receipt, please go to this URL and follow the instructions. Thank you.
後ほどコンパスのメッセージでも、この URL を流します。はい、
you will also receive this URL via a message on Compass.
では、楽しみたい。じゃあ皆さん楽しみましょう。
So everybody, let's enjoy.
何か質問がありましたら、スタッフ、先ほど言ったように T シャツに、お声掛けください。
And if you have any questions or any troubles, please feel free to talk to any of the staff. Again, the staff can be seen either wearing the blue shirt or having this yellow staff band.
はい、では、ほぼですね。Wi-Fi が使えます。こちらに Wi-Fi 情報があります。前のアクセスポイント等にも情報が書いてありますので、必要な方は、Wi-Fi をお使いください。で、注意事項ですけど、こちらの、できるだけ Wi-Fi を使ってください。自分の、モバイルルーターの Wi-Fi とかはあまり使わないでください。電波が混線すると、性能が落ちてしまいますので、皆さんこちらの、PyConJP の Wi-Fi をご使用ください。はい、
And yeah, throughout the whole conference center, we will have free Wi-Fi available. You can either see the passcode there or at every access point in the rooms, you will have the SSID and password. And a request from our Wi-Fi team, please do not use your own Wi-Fi mobile router as it will interfere with the Wi-Fi that we provided. Thank you.
はい、では、次、キーノートになりますので、キーノートはマニュアルさんですね。はい、じゃあ、アナウンスお願いします。はい、では、皆さんよろしくお願いします。
So we will now continue with our first keynote, which will be Kaufmann Manuel. So please, everybody, listen carefully.
Thank you.
ありがとうございました。皆様、今一度盛大な拍手で PyConJP2018 を盛り上げていきましょう。Let's warm up the PyConJP with big applause again. 続きましてキーノートでございますが、大変申し訳ありませんが5分遅れまして10時15分からの開始とさせていただきます。お待たせしてしまい大変申し訳ございませんがご了承お願いいたします。
後ろを立てる方、前にも席が空いているので、ぜひ前に進んでください。If you're standing in the back, there are still free seats in the front, so please move forward. Thank you.
Hello, can you hear me? Right? Okay, let's start with the talk. Okay, sure. 50 seconds.
会場の後ろの方にいるお客様、前方の方空いているお席もう少々残っております。また、通路の方に前に進んできていただいて座っていただいても大丈夫ですので、前方の方へお越しください。続きまして10時15分よりキーノートマヌエル・カフマン様による講演を開始いたします。カフマン様は大学に在学中の2006年に開催されたパイデイサンタフェで Python に出会いました。それによって彼の人生が大きく変わりました。彼は Python の文法が好きになり、それは C 言語のポインターや双方向リストを数日で忘れるほどでした。その時から Python アルゼンチーナのアクティブメンバーになり、車で南米を旅行し Python を広げる活動を行っておりました。しばらくしてジャンゴの公式ドキュメントやジャンゴガールズチュートリアルの翻訳に参加することになりました。他にもワンラップトップパーチャイルドのようなプロジェクトにも参加するようになりました。彼のアルゼンチーナ・イン・Python の活動が2016年2月に PSF Python アンバサダーとして表彰されました。現在はリード・ダ・ドックスでソフトウェアエンジニアとして働いております。Mr. Kaufman met Python while performing his university studies at Pi Day Santa Fe in Argentina in 2006, and since that day, his life changed forever, literally. He fell in love with its syntax and forgot pointers and double-linked list of C to these days. Since then, he has become an active member of Python Argentina and travels South America by car to spread Python. In these years, he has participated in the translation of the official book of Django and Django Girls Tutorial, among others. He has also worked in projects like One Laptop Per Child, and in February 2016 was named Python Ambassador by the Python Software Foundation for his work with Argentina in Python. Currently, he is working at the Read the Docs as a software developer. Please welcome Mr. Manuel Kaufmann with applause.
Thank you so much. Here we go. So, my name is Manuel Kaufmann. My nickname is Humitos. So, I will refer to myself in the talk as Humitos in some places. So, I want to say that I'm really happy to be here today because I've never been in Japan before. I've never been in an Asian country. So this is amazing for me, and really, it's an honor to be sharing my story, my talk with you. There is a lot of people here. I never delivered a talk in a conference like this one. In Argentina, the conferences are not so big, so it's like a challenge for me to be here today, and also delivering the talk in English, which is not my native tongue. So I'm from Argentina. We speak Spanish there, and I'm really nervous, as you can probably imagine or notice, for my acting here. So I want to thank thanks to the whole community and also to the PyCon organizer for inviting me to be here today. As I said, I'm Manuel Kaufmann. I'm from Argentina, from a very small city. It's a capital of a region, but it's still small. I'm the founder of Argentina in Python, the project that I'm going to talk about today and trying to share with you and motivate you to be more involved in the community. I'm working at Read the Docs as a software developer, and also I'm fellow member of the PSF, the Python Software Foundation, and I really like to talk about the PSF also with you and spread the word about what the PSF does. I'm really involved with this because the PSF is really important for us, and really important for you also. It should be important for you, and we all had benefit from the PSF. So these are the three main things that I'm doing in my life, let's say. So let's start with the talk. I want to share with you a dream that I had some years ago that it became real. This idea to share this dream is to try to motivate you to become a more active member in the Python community, sharing code, spreading the word about Python, and deliver talks, be confident with yourself, and be able to be, as I am doing today here on stage, sharing with you my story. So I hope you enjoy this talk and share what you want to share with the whole community. I want to start with a question. Have you ever think about who are the people under the author tag in the software you use every single day? Or who are the people that are behind this, the PSF, for example, or behind this organization like Django Girls? Who are these people? How did we get there? So creating a project is nowadays very easy. You just go to GitHub, you create a repository, and you start writing code, right? But it's not that easy to get people start using it, to start receiving pull requests, to people to contribute with your software, right? That's like the hard part of building software nowadays, to create the whole community and to maintain it in years, right? Because you can write your software alone, but if nobody uses it, it doesn't make sense, right? Because we are trying to solve problems to ourselves, but also to other people. But if we think about this in another way, if we think that creating that repository, creating that project, making that idea something real that we can touch, we can speak about, if it does work, what happens if people start like joining our community that we are creating or joining our project? What if it works? And in a year, we have built this community. Try to think in that way. So if you ever have thinking about implementing your idea, I want to say to you that today is the moment to start doing it. And do not care about if it's going to work or not. You have to do it. You have to start your idea. You have to start your project. So I want to start my story talking about a debt that I have. But it's not a debt about money. It's a debt in knowledge. So let me explain a little bit more about this to you. When I was at university, I used to listen to teachers that use these kind of phrases in the whole class, saying something like, if I find someone copying to each other, I will suspend them both. And I was at university to share knowledge, to get knowledge from teachers, but also to share the knowledge that I learned in my house with other classmates. So I wanted to work together, to work in groups. And I was very, very disappointed at university by listening these kind of phrases from teachers that I really admired by that time. So I got kind of depressed because of this, and I tried to find other places where sharing was a good thing, right? Because I wasn't finding that at university. So I went to an event, and I met Python. There was Camp Python. How did it appear? I went to the first PyDay event in 2006 in the city where I lived by that time. It was organized in the same university that I was studying by a group of students. And they brought people from other cities to talk about Python. There was an introduction to Python. I did nothing about Python. And I didn't even know that it was a language. I was using C and C++ by that time at university that was taught. So there was a guy that delivered a talk about an introduction to Python. And this guy said something like, if we do my list equal square bracket, we do have a list. And I was astonished because I was trying to build double linked list in C, dealing with pointers, and all of those stuff. And I saw this and I said, okay, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to learn. My life is going to be this line, So this was Facundo Batista, and these guys became my idol from that moment. But also, this guy was the creator of the decimal module from the standard library. So this guy was a hero for the whole community, not just my idol. So this guy also talked about a community. He was talking about Python Argentina and how we can get involved in the community. So there was a mailing list that he shared with us where we can ask questions, we can share things, we can talk about Python, and we can organize events all together. So I signed up at the mailing list, and I sent my first print hello world. That was the only thing that I knew by the time. Well, I also knew how to create a list, but it wasn't useful for that cause. So I sent my print hello world, and I was also recommended to read this article that is very famous, How to Ask Questions the Smart Way by Eric Raymond. And it talked about how to get the right answer without too many emails, just to summarizing. Just a good question will receive a good answer. So they said, welcome, ask whatever you want. Don't be afraid, they told me, right? So I took that literally. I started asking as many questions as I could. I wanted to build my first video game, so I started making questions about Pygame. My first question I remember was, what can I do, what library can I use to write a video game? So I was suggested to use Pygame. And I started asking questions about Pygame. In a month or so, I built my first Pygame video game. That was just to type all the alphabet as fast as you can. That was all. But I asked how to make a sound, how to use a different kind of typography, how to insert an image. I asked everything that you can imagine to build this piece of software. And they replied through the mailing list with very, very good answers and very good vibers. So my next goal was to build a piece of software with graphical interface and using a database. So I asked everything about those topics to the mailing list, and it got the answers, and I built my software, and I was really happy. But I started feeling that I wanted to give something back to the community because I was asking many questions, I was getting a lot of knowledge, but I wasn't returning anything. So I wanted to give back something to them. That is the debt that I was mentioned in the beginning of the talk. So I started participating in all the events that they proposed by that time. This, for example, is an event called Pi Week, where you have to build a video game in 7 days with one person or a team, right? But you decide, and you have just 1 week to build a piece of software that is a video game. So we got the 3rd place with my team in Santa Fe, Argentina, with this game that is called Twisted Zombie. We didn't know how to develop, actually. We were like trying to do something. We weren't so good at that time. I also started participating in other events. This is called PyCamp, where we go to the mountains for 4 days, more or less, and it's all-day sprint. So we try to build software just by doing all together, far away from a city, so we don't have distractions, and we are all in the same room trying to build something, right? It's an event of 40 people, 30 people, something like that, and it's really, really cool. I think it's the best event that I've ever been. I also participated in the following Pi Week that they suggested, and we got the 6th place globally with this game that is called Pedro's Robot Factory. So I wanted to give more back to the community. So at first PyCon, I presented 3 talks. I gave a talk about Django, and this is the picture. I gave a talk about how to translate a book, and I gave a talk how to fix an issue in the core of the Python. So I was feeling that it was like a lot of adrenaline, but very little knowledge because I was new at the community, and I had terrible questions because I hadn't real experience. I was just a guy that was learning at home, but I hadn't a job. So I didn't know how to answer real questions to people and fulfill their doubts. So I felt like a superhero, but in troubles in some way. So what I did, I keep studying. I bought this book. I contacted Jacob, the creator of Django, because he wanted to translate this book. I wasn't very good at English, but I was able to read and write English. So I decided I wanted to create a team of translators to translate this book because I loved Django and I wanted more people to get involved in the Django community in Argentina so we can share our knowledge all together. And there are many people in Argentina that do not speak English. So I suppose that it was a good cause to work together to translate this book and to publish it freely for all the people that want to read it. So that's what we did. Jacob Kaplan-Moss, the creator of Django, sent me the original files, and we started translating them. After we finished this, I kept traveling around Argentina to go to different PyCons, PyDay events. I was very, very immersed in the community. Someday, I received a call from one of the guys that I met at one of the conferences. He said, "We read at Python Argentina mailing list your participation, the level of question you ask, and the topics that you are interested in. Besides, we know about the Django book. Would you like to work at our company?" This was Daniel Moiset at Maquinalis, a very famous company in Argentina. And it was like, what? The level of questions you ask, what? It doesn't make sense at all. I mean, just by asking questions through a mailing list, I was given an offer to work in a company with people that I admired. I didn't understand anything. So I realized that I learned to ask, right? Just by asking questions, I was getting my first professional job as developer. So what I learned from this article that I recommend you to read, How to Ask Questions the Smart Way, so good questions are a stimulus and a gift for hackers. Try to find the answer by yourself before asking. And finally, only what you say is what we know about yourself. Those are 3 key points of this article that changed my life and helped me to be more immersed in the community. As I say in the introduction, I'm from a very small city called Paraná, Entre Ríos, in Argentina. And this city hasn't too many technological events. So I moved to another city to study at university, where I met Python also. But I was worried, I was like kind of angry, let's say, because there weren't events in small cities. So I needed to travel to Buenos Aires or to Rosario or to Cordoba. There are the big capitals in Argentina. And I suppose, I'm not sure, but maybe here in Japan, the situation is similar. Maybe everything happening here in Tokyo and the other city that has nothing, right? So I was a little bit tired of that. So I started communicating this through the mailing list and saying, hey, why not you come more often to this city? Why not you go to the north or to the south, right? But then I realized that I remember a phrase from my psychologist. She told me something like, you cannot change other people. The only that you can change is yourself. So I felt that I needed to do something about this. I needed to do it by myself. Do not depend on other people. Do not force other people to come to my city to deliver a talk. So I decided that I, Humitos, will travel around all Argentina in my own car, and I will organize a Python event in every city I visit with the idea of decentralizing knowledge. That was my great goal, right? But people, when I said this, people told me like, wouldn't be that too much? I mean, are you kind of crazy, man? How are you going to travel all around Argentina, that is not a small country, alone with your own car, organizing everything by yourself? And I was like, I don't know, I will try, right? But I needed to commit myself. I needed more feedback from the community because I was told that so many times that I was crazy that I started to think about it, right? So I went to the following PyCon and I communicate this to the community. I sit down there and I say, okay, I will do this, I will do that, I will travel by myself, but I need your support. I need your feedback. I need to know if this is something doable or I'm getting crazy. So please help me. And the community gave me a lot of support. They started writing their names and the city where they live and the telephone number so I can get help from them. So it was kind of something that is going to work. That's what I thought. But how many times did we achieve our goal on the first try? Right? So I start thinking on doing something like TDD, but for real life, like test driving development, but for real life. So I prepare a test for myself, right? So I start driving my car and living in this kind of condition because I didn't have too much money. So I didn't have support, resources, support from the community. I was alone and I was traveling like that. I was sleeping inside the car. I removed a seat. I built a bed inside the car. I was sleeping there and traveling alone and testing myself, testing all the situation that I could to think it was able to do it by myself. The reality is that I did nothing. I just travel and sleep in camp and go to hostel, try to organize my mind and the project, my ideas, everything, but I did nothing. No event, nothing at all. But I really wanted to do it. I mean, I really believed on this project, and I was sure that it should work in some way, but it needed more time. That was what I realized. So I tried again. What I did this time, I traveled west from my city. That is the most right dot on the right, and I traveled up to Chile, right, for 3 months. In that travel, I met many people that were interested in sharing knowledge, not also Python, but different kind of knowledge in general. I went to a rural school. We prepared a course for kids to edit video and audio using free software with these people that helped me to organize that. And also met a guy in Mendoza, Argentina, that was very interested in electronics and how to use software to have some graphic about the sound or the electrical waves, So I was meeting the right people that I wanted for my project to be involved in and help me to organize events. Also, journalism that wanted to spread the word about the free software philosophy. So I started I was doing the right thing. I was in the road that I wanted to be, but I needed still more time, more organized thoughts and ideas. The thing is, I had a huge job. My girlfriend left me, and I started thinking that this is not going to work. I mean, I'm alone. I'm losing my closest persons, I had problem with my family also because I wasn't in my home. So I rethink everything. I went back home. I spent some time alone thinking about this, thinking about if I was doing was correct or I was really crazy and I was told. I decided I was crazy, but I wanted to continue on. So this time I went north. I went next to Bolivia, and I met too many people in that road, and I started really organizing events. This time, I was more confident what was I doing because I felt that it was really, really working. But still, I need more time, I need more energy. I was working remotely for a company, so I didn't have too much time to be really involved in the project. This time, I met these people, Pilar and Joanna. Joanna is in the right side, and we didn't know by that time, but she will going to become a very important person in this project. I met them because they hosted me through a platform called Couchsurfing. So because I didn't have money, so I was trying to be host without paying anything. So I met them. What I was saying, a lot of work, a lot of that time by adapting myself on each city because I needed to find a hotel, I needed to find a place to put the car, to eat, a pharmacy, basic needings in all the cities that I was traveling. And I lost a lot of time by that, and also working. So I thought in changing the strategy dramatically. Like maybe I can quit my job because I'm really interested in making this project work. So maybe I can quit my job and work the whole day on this. So I was thinking and driving and thinking and quitting the job, and boom, something bad happened. I had my first accident by driving. The problem, a goat. She didn't die, I promise. She didn't die. So I had to go back everything to zero again. I was already lose my girlfriend. I was almost lose my life, So I need to rethink everything. And when I need to do these kind of things, I go back to the community. So in the following PyCon, I delivered a talk about what I was doing what were the problems that I had, the accident with the goat, you know, the problems that I didn't have so much time. I didn't have too many contacts to university to call them and arrange like a talk or something like that, you know. So I communicate everything that I was doing, the problems and the goals that I was reach. The community gave me a lot of support. They helped me even with money to fix the car also. So I started feeling like a bit proud of myself. I was really trusting that my project will work because I had the support of the community. I was having the experience of traveling alone, and I was thinking that I was going to be able to do it by myself. So I sent a grant proposal to the PSF. What is a grant proposal? It's a way to say to the PSF, hey, I want money for you. That's all. And I communicate that I was doing for a year almost this kind of courses, and I had these kind of problems, but I needed more money to be more focused on the project. So summarizing, I was traveling with 3 journeys, like 3 different stages, 3 go and forth, and 9 months living in extreme conditions. So, but in my life, not everything it's about traveling and software. I really like other stuff also. I really like circus, for example. So in the trip, I learned very different things. And I have here something to show you in my luggage, because I'm always prepared to keep traveling. That's why my luggage is on the stage nowadays. And I want to share you a very, very simple trick with my top spin with you. So this is just to make sure that we are not just programmers. We are human beings. We like to do other things. Not everything is just coding, coding, and coding alone at night. So do you remember Joanna from the previous picture? So she also went with me to the PyCon Argentina when I present my talk, when I talk about my problems and my goals. She fell in love with the community. She's science, she's chemistry, and she's really, really good at math and chemistry. So she wanted to learn more Python to be able to work with Python and science. So she went to PyCon and she fell in love with my project, with the Python community, and she also wanted to share knowledge and to receive knowledge as I did before when I was at university. So she joined the project. She started traveling with me. I removed the bed from the car, I re-add the seat, and we start traveling together. So this time we went northeast. The previous picture said that I went northwest, and now we went northeast, next to Uruguay, Brazil, and Paraguay. We start organizing sprints. We organize regular meetups in different cities. We organize events to talk about software libre, in this case, OpenStreetMap. So we were doing many different kind of event, right? And for our surprise, the PSF resolved that they wanted to give me the money that I was asking for this project. So $3,000 USD dollars to continue the effort that I was started a year ago. I was like astonished. I didn't understand why the PSF was trusting $3,000 to me, because I didn't know how to express what I was doing, because it's hard to communicate that he was traveling like a crazy guy, you know, alone, organizing events to the PSF. But I got surprised, and I was given the money. So 100% committed. Argentina, Paraguay, and Bolivia. That was my promise to them. So we start with Paraguay, because we were like finishing Argentina by that time. We start with Paraguay. We help them to create the Paraguay community, the Python community, because it didn't exist before. So we help them to create the community, to organize their first Python event, and there were more like 100 people there. So we were really, really happy with that. We also keep organizing events in different universities in Argentina. And finally, we organized an event inside the SciPy Latin America. It was about science. So Joanna, with her computer, he prepared some different experiments for kids, and also the kids were playing with the experiment and trying to solve different things, and then she showed to them how to do exactly the same that you were doing like naturally with your hands in the computer through simulation, so to not waste resources and contaminate the earth. We also noticed that there were very, very few women in all the events. So we started thinking that we wanted to get more women involved in the community. That's why we organized the first Python course for women at the same university that we delivered the science workshop for kids. So it wasn't like a huge event. There were, I don't know, maybe 8 people or 6, 10 people, I don't know. But it was really, really good. It was our first course for women. It was really, really successful. And this is a picture that I really love because it explains more or less the whole day-to-day by traveling by car and be hosted by other people. We are in a table having dinner with a notebook because I thought that if anyone is interested in learning something about Python, I should have to be there, right? I must be there with my computer explaining something. So we put the dishes to the other side, we put the notebook there, and we start like showing and coding and realizing that software could be learned by anyone. We continue organizing more events. So successful cases, succeed, and more uses of the success word, right? But in life, everything is a balance. So if you go up, at some point, you go up. At some point, you need to go down. So, boom. I had another accident, but this time, it wasn't by car. I got ill in Bolivia, in Uyuni, because I got intoxicated with a food that was in a bad shape. So we were very worried, but this time I wasn't alone, so that was very, I don't know, it's not that it was easier, but I was more safe in some way because I had another person to help me with my problems. So I went to the hospital, but they didn't have enough resources for the problem that I was having, and the weather was like, I don't know, maybe 5 degrees minus 0, so it wasn't a good weather to get well soon. So we decided to go to another city, to the capital, to Sucre in Bolivia. But we found in the road that there were many people like arguing against the government. There were miners, and they had many problems with the government because they work in a very awful conditions, and they were like claiming for their rights. So we found this kind of situation in all the street. The streets were closed, and it was a chaos, completely a chaos for us. We were foreign in there, we didn't understand what was happening, but people were throwing dynamite through the government buildings. So everything was crazy. So again, rethink everything. What the hell are we doing here, you know? Why we started this project? Okay, so we said, okay, let's continue on. If we can overcome this situation, nothing, but really nothing will stop us. So we communicate this to the PSF. We spend too much money in the hospital, so we communicate this and we request a new grant proposal to the PSF. The PSF replied immediately for $5,000 this time to continue working in Bolivia, in Peru, and in Ecuador this time. So we decided that we wanted to be very focused on the women community in Python. So we already had like this Python course, but it wasn't really good. I mean, I'm not a teacher. I didn't know how to develop a really good course. So I started looking up in the internet, and I found there was something called Django Girls, that they had a tutorial, and they also were kind of new. It was a new organization, but they had really, really good resources. So I took all of them, I read everything that they had published, and I contacted them to organize our first Django Girls in Bolivia, in Cochabamba. So we organized the first Django Girls in Bolivia. We organized also the second one in Santa Cruz de la Sierra. We organized another one in Puno, Peru. We organized another one in Lima, Peru, and another one in Mendoza, Argentina, inside the PyCon, another one in Piura, Peru, and I like to say that we bring the programming into in-hospital places, because I used to work like this. Everywhere, no matter where I was, I needed to work. I needed to continue sending email, to contacting people, to organize the event. Everything needed to be perfect. So no matter what it was, I needed to work. Break. Okay, with all of this work, I was invited to share our story to PyCaribbean, the first conference in the Caribbean. This was in Dominican Republic, and I couldn't believe it, because why other people is going to invite myself to another country to share this story in a country that I'd never been before? I mean, I didn't understand, but I realized that our story was growing and growing and growing, and people was more interested in what we were doing. So I went there, I shared my story, I received a lot of feedback, and I was really happy because of this. We wanted to shake the world, right? So we sent another grant proposal to the PSF the third time, requesting more money to continue our job in more countries. This time, with very focus on diversity by organizing Django Girl workshop. The PSF resolved that I was going to be given $750 a month, and I was going to be named in a trial program called Python Ambassador, right? So to continue the outreach and educational effort. With that money, we settled in Ecuador by that time. We traveled from Argentina, like this, to Ecuador, right? And in Ecuador, we decided that we were like very tired. I'm the only one driving, and was tired. I needed to like rent a house, sleep always in the same bed, you know? And so we settled there, and we tried to build a community, like a recurrent community, going to meet all the people in different weeks, I mean, and do not forget them in the past. So we organized an event there, a Django Girls event. More than 100 people sign up, but there are not so many space in these places, so we have an event 40 people, 30 people, something like that. So we kept organizing more Django Girls in Guayaquil, Ecuador, and also regular meetups. We organized, I think, like a meetups a month or 2 meetups a month, I don't remember. And because of all of this work, I was invited as a keynote speaker at PyCon Spain. I couldn't believe it. This changed my mind forever, because my project was crossing to another continent to be shared there, to motivate more people, as I'm doing today here, trying to motivate other people to get really involved in the community. So this was crazy for me. I couldn't believe it. We came back to Argentina for the PyCon. We organized another Django Girl, another Django Girls in Santiago del Estero, another Django Girl in Barranquilla, Colombia, and too many more Django Girls. Finally, the PSF resolved that I was going to be declared PSF Python Ambassador for Latin America, right? So I was like carrying the PSF flag all around Latin America. I was very, very, very happy. So I want to share some lessons with you that I learned on this trip. They are very, very basic, but they're very important. The first one is recovering the trust on unknown people. I don't know how is the culture here, but in Argentina, if you go and talk to an unknown people or you try to be hosted by unknown people, most of your friends or your family are going to tell you that they are going to rob you, or I don't know. It's like a dangerous situation. But by traveling alone, I realized that I really trust unknown people now, because I was given I had very good time with them, and I'm really happy. Low down the classical social expectation. When we organize an event, we are always trying to get, 100 people, 1,000 people. I think it doesn't care how many people do we have in the room. The important thing is that all the people that are in the room and are interested in the topic that we are talking about. So we organized an event where nobody showed up. And that's not very cool, but we need to keep trying. And the following one, we had 2 people, and we were really, really happy. And the following one, we have 5 people, and so on. So this is very important to not get depressed, and keep trying harder. And also, we realized in Bolivia and Peru that take advantage of traditional broadcasting media, like TV, newspaper, and radio. We are very used to use social media to share our events, but social media the message does not arrive to all the people, just for some people that use social media. But there are many people, maybe older than us, that do not use social media or do not get these notifications, but they are communicated by TV or radio. And we had a lot of people that read or saw the announcement in the TV and show up because of that. So what started by a simple print hello world is now a reality. And really, really saying hello to many different places in the world just by joining the community. So there are some pictures in Bolivia, in Argentina, and many other places that I was able to travel and visit just because of this project, just because I sent a line that says, print hello world, and it's in a question, and then another question, and then another question, and I get involved in the community. So I want you to start thinking about joining the community, sharing the knowledge, traveling, and share ideas and thoughts. So these are some of the pictures that we were taking of our travel. Summarizing, I drove 60,000 kilometers by car all around Latin America. Countries like Chile, Argentina, Uruguay, Brazil, Peru, Bolivia, Paraguay, Ecuador, and Bolivia, right? Those are the countries that we visit by car. To put some number all together, we organized more than 70 events in 3 or 4 years, I don't know, maybe 4, and including 30 Django Girls workshops. I'm not sure, but I suppose that we are the people that more Django Girls workshops organize in the whole world, because I don't know if there are other persons that organize so many Django Girls events. As I said, if you read that number, like 3,500 people reach, maybe it's not too much, but I'm sure that those people that we reached, they were really, really interested in understanding and learning Python. So that's something that I really, really appreciate. Also, we visit more than 100 cities and 10 different countries. We have many followers and articles that I'm really proud of those articles on the newspaper and media, because it's something that it's written there, and it's something, I don't know, a post in Instagram is something that you scroll and that's over. And this, you have the printed version. Finally, I want to share with you 3 tips to success, right? The first one is we must have passion. We need to be passionate about what we are going to do, right? If there is no passion, there is nothing. The day that I told my mom that I sat in my house and I told her that I wanted to quit university and study Python by myself day and night because the culture of non-sharing at university wasn't something that I want to be immersed on. So I told my mom that I wanted to quit university and study by myself. That day, I realized that I was passionate about Python. We also need to feel the situations. The first day that I started driving my car with no direction, without idea what I was doing, with all the charge in my back about these people telling me that I was crazy, that I'm going to get killed, and crash into the car. I don't know. All the bad stuff that I heard at that time, I didn't really know what I was doing, but I feel it. I feel it inside myself that I needed to do it. I had to do that. Because I really, really believe in my dream, in my idea. I want to share, I want to give something back to the community, and I want to travel. But just believe in ourselves is not enough. We need to feel our passion. So, what are you waiting to make your hello world a reality? I invite you to put all your dreams in this suitcase that I have here, all your ideas, all your dreams, all your projects, and I hope you to see on the road sharing Python with me. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much, Manuel. We have about 15 minutes for questions, if you have any questions for him. And yeah, he will hopefully answer them. 15分ほど、質問タイムがありますので、質問ある方は手を挙げてください。マイクをお持ちしますので。日本語で質問しても大丈夫ですので、ぜひ。If you have a question, please raise your hand so I can bring you the mic. And yeah.
Thank you for your inspiring talk. It also increased my appreciation to the Python JP community as well. One question I had was, in Japan, it's fairly unique where Japanese is used mostly only in Japan, but in Argentina, the Spanish is used across multiple countries. And as you have traveled across many languages to organize communities, I think you used it as an advantage. But I also was wondering if there was a disadvantage where it is hard to make a community within a single country because the knowledge sharing on the internet tends to be across borders, especially if you have a language that's used in multiple countries. Did you find any difficulties in organizing events in specific countries?
Hello. One thing, all the countries that I drove, all of them speak Spanish. So that's something that is very important. Now, I don't know, it probably will be very different and difficult to organize all of these events, for example, in English, because, well, I'm not really good at speaking English, but it's hard. I mean, it's hard to speak technical things in another language that is not yours. For example, in Brazil, we went to Brazil, but we didn't organize anything. And the only talk that I delivered in Brazil was in English. Anyway, Brazil, Portuguese, and Spanish are similar. I mean, I can understand other people if they speak very slowly, but I'm sure that I can deliver a talk in Spanish and they understand my workshop. So that part of the question, I don't know the answer. Now we are moving to Europe, and we are calling Argentina in Python Mission Europe now, because we are trying to do the same in Europe. And I will have the answer to that question maybe in the following year, because I don't know how it's going to be. Regarding like cultural differences, we have different kind of problems, because I think that Argentina is very different from the other countries in some basic things like dinner time, lunch time, those things that are very, very simple, but when you are organizing an event, they are really important, right? So I have dinner like at 10 p.m., 11 p.m. in Argentina, and that's it's not common at all in Bolivia and Peru and Paraguay or Ecuador. So I had to ask many people regarding very basic cultural things to make the event to cover those aspects, you know? And we fail a lot with that. We fail definitely a lot. But I don't know, you learn from doing, right? I don't know if that answered your question. Yeah, it's fine? Okay, gracias.
There was somebody over here with a question before. Hi.
ありがとうございます。感想と質問です。最初初めて学ぶときにいろんなことを質問して学んだとお聞きしました。で、その時に初心者の人が質問すると、なんでこんなことわからないんだとかって言われるのかなと思ったんですけども、そうじゃなくてちょっと驚きました。日本だと結構初心者の人が質問しづらいような空気があるように私は思っています。なんか質問した時にそれはなんか自分で調べろとか言われたことはありますか？
Yeah, I think I got the question. I said that, I don't know, maybe I would say that nowadays is harder. I don't know, in my time, I would say that nobody will tell you something that you don't want to read or to hear. I don't know why, but 10 years ago, for me, it was different. We used to write emails to ask a question. So it was kind of more formal thing that you do. Now you put a comment just in 2 seconds, and you don't care what you're saying. You just want to insult another person, right? And that's very bad. But I think that the code of conduct or these things are helping to keep the people like in a state that do not make damage to other people. I don't know how to explain, but I understand that sometimes it's hard to get the courage to ask a question because you're afraid that somebody else will tell you that it's a stupid question, right? But for example, the article that I mentioned today helped me a lot to do like the right questions. Also, it's an article that is very criticized also because you have to do a lot of work before asking a question, right? So, but I think that's correct in some way because as a developer that we want to be, we need to solve our issues by ourselves, right? You are not asking questions all the time while you are developing. You are like Googling it, I don't know, trying to find it by yourself, right? So I ask many stupid questions. I'm honest, but I was never told something like that. That I can remember. I don't know how are other communities, but I know that this is a problem, and I'm not really sure what is the exact solution. I think that it's something that it will depend on the culture of the country, and also I think that Python Argentina, at least for me, is very different from other communities because it's very respectful. It always was respectful, and we always try to say that we are all together. It's not these 3 big cities that I mentioned. We are all Argentina. It doesn't matter where do you live. You are Python Argentina, and you can use the name. So we always try to get people like involved in Python Argentina. And I think that we are like all leaders, you know? There is no one leader that we respect and admire, and that's the person. No, we all are leaders. So we also had to like punish some people or block some people sometimes, but actually I would say that that was more recently. I don't know why, maybe because social media is going crazy and it's driving us crazy, but with email, I said it was easier. Maybe I'm getting old, I don't know. I don't know if that answered your question, but that's all that I can say. Thank you.
Hi. Thank you for the talk. It was really interesting. So you mentioned that you got hooked by Python when you saw the print and my list equals close brackets. When you're teaching Python or, in different places, what do you see is more consistent? What makes people hooked to Python? Do you have something that is there syntax? Is there like anything particular that you see like the eye on the people's eyes like shining when you teach something particular?
Yeah, I teach Python because I think it's easier to learn than other languages. But I said that people get caught by the way of thinking. I mean, the way of thinking that you can change the reality around you just by learning how to develop software. And I also showed 3 very small examples. I have an application that is called Pysentation that you use your cell phone to change the slide. So you have your cell phone, it's a web page that you connect to the computer and press a key and change the slide. So I do always like an introduction that you probably, if you use the USB thing with the pointer and stuff, I'm sure that you always forget it, exactly when you need it. But your phone, it's always with you, right? So I use that example. I think it's 100 lines, and it's very easy to read. So I use that example as a way of changing your reality. I use another example that is Pila's Engine. It's a framework to develop video games in 2 dimensions. And it was developed to teach kids how to develop or how to program. So it's very intuitive and it's very good. That's also something that caught people's attention. And also, I use a very simple script to mute the computer. That is used like to mute some advertisement for some software. And that's a way that I can tell you, okay, if you don't want the computer to do something, you can change it just by writing a couple of lines. Those are very, very simple, maybe stupid examples, but they are very interested in changing or using the programming to changing their surroundings. So that's the way that I try like to convince them to learn how to develop. The people that I used to get in touch with do not know other languages. So I can't really make a comparison that they got caught because of the syntax, but I'm sure that if I'm going to teach them C or C++, they are going to run away.
Okay, we have time for about 1 more question.
講演ありがとうございます。ちょっと一つ質問があるんですけど、Python を習った人の中で Python の仕事につながった人たちは何割ぐらいいるのかなっていう質問です。
So the question is, how many people that I teach Python got job after that, or something like that?
Yes.
Okay. The guy on the headset is doing a really great job. I admire him, this guy. Well, I don't really know exactly numbers, but I can share with you an experience that when I was living in Ecuador, one of the guys that I met there was called Santos, and I noticed that he signed up to become a coach at a Django Gate workshop, And I realized that we were working out together, and I realized that this guy was really good and he was explaining. So I told him, I was working at Read the Docs at that time. So I told him that I want him to be a contributor in Read the Docs, and I want to pay him for that. So I started paying him with my salary, and then he was hired by the company. He started first the Google Summer of Code for Read the Docs, and after that, this was like last week, I think. He was hired by Read the Docs, and now he's working with me in the same project, and I'm really, really happy because of that. There are other people that, I mean, that's like my shiny example, because I really like this guy. He's really, really good. He's very young, and he's really good. But there are other people that also got some jobs, maybe not that important, I would say, because, I don't know, Read the Docs is very important for me, so being his first job, I think he's like a genius. But yeah, there are other people that started their startup by building website after the Django Gear workshop that is about building websites and blogs and those things.
Okay, thank you very much once again, Manuel Kaufmann. That's all the time we have for questions, unfortunately. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Next session will be in Japanese. If you need the interpreter receiver with you, please get it at the clerk or find someone around you with the receiver and ask for one. 次は日本語での講演となります。同時通訳レシーバーをお持ちのお客様は、お近くで必要とされているお客様がいらっしゃいましたら、お渡しいただけますようご協力